Hello, hello, hello. So I'm with a very special guest today, and her name is Pushpanjali, as you can see by her name written by her face, her Zoom screen. And I met Pushpanjali a while ago. When did I meet you for the first time?
I think sometime in 2021.
2021, yeah. And one of the things that always struck me about Pushpanjali was her inquisitiveness and curiosity, her willingness to grow, to learn, to ask, to experiment, to play with things, to figure how things work, which showed me the depth at which Pushpanjali operated. And more importantly, it showed me that how Pushpanjali is so professional. Like, it wasn't casual, this was other human beings, other human lives, other human emotions, other human beliefs, circumstances, situations. And what always struck me was how Pushpanjali gave it the space and gave it the honor, gave it the honor. And I think that's what really strikes me when Pushpanjali comes into my awareness, is the honor with which Pushpanjali shares her work with other people, whether it's in her specialist area of relationships or life change, whatever you want to call it, or deep life change, or if it's in other areas, it's about creating a space where there can be a lot of honor for self and for others. And this is a delayed announcement. It's actually happened 1 year ago. And the announcement is for Inner Child Matrix Practitioner, which is a very special certification because you see, trauma happens to so many of us, whether it's a parent that told us to shut up, or a teacher that gave an E- on a test that you studied really hard for, or a friend that abandoned you for another friend, or perhaps the first relationship or the millionth relationship. Trauma actually happens to everyone. I don't think there is a single human being on earth that has not experienced some kind of trauma, like even death of a loved one. But the interesting thing is people hear that word Trauma, and they think, that's not me. That's for those people that have been through something big. But this is utter nonsense. Trauma is something everyone would have experienced at some time in their lives, but this is a difference. For some people, it's no big deal. A death happened, I grieve, I cry, I move on with my life. But for some people, a death happens, grieving is hard, crying is hard, moving on from it is hard. Or take the area of relationships. You meet the love of your life and it's not meant to be. You both know it's not meant to be. You both appreciate it's the right decision to take. There is no fighting the decision, and yet the failure creeps in. Could I have done something different? What if I could have made it work? And so these experiences can lay down beliefs. And what can get left behind is something known as a trauma imprint. And a trauma imprint can be emotional, it can be mental, it can be the memory itself, it can be what's stored in the body and the pain in the body, the discomfort with the body, the restlessness in the heart, the sweaty palms. It can leave behind an imprint in the body, or it can leave behind a belief system that governs the future reality. And so what makes Inner Child Matrix so special is it's a very gentle way, because trauma needs gentleness, though I don't want you to be under the impression that there aren't tears with this kind of therapy. Of course, if there are suppressed tears, there are hidden tears, they're going to come out. But like vomit, Isn't it better out than in? And so with this process, you get a chance to open up those doors safely and in a way where someone like Pushpanjali can hold a safe, non-judgmental presence. Because to be able to open up at that level and to be able to trust at that level, the person needs to know it is safe. And any form of judgment will make the person feel it's not safe. I might as well shut up and not open up because that's the safer option right now. So that's the depth at which Pushpanjali works in terms of helping people that have gone through their own traumas in their life to be able to set free. So many, many, many congratulations, Pushpanjali. Well done on getting this certification. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much, Rangana. I think it's a moment of gratitude for me, more so for what ICM has really given me. If I remember right, I think sometime last year when we were having a conversation around what this tool has given me and how it has benefited me, I cried my heart out because that's the level of gratitude I had for you and the tool itself for how it freed me from certain patterns and the way I saw myself because of what I'd faced in childhood or what I faced at school, and how certain aspects was really impacting my self-perception. And that was weighing me down so severely, and it was sort of impacting my career, it was impacting the way I was running my business, and so on and so forth, and even self acceptance for that matter. So, ICM really gave me that freedom. It gave me the freedom to look at myself differently from what those memories taught me to see me as.
So beautifully put, Pushpanjali. And I loved how you explained what it gave you as well. Now, it's been a while since we've been in contact. So kind of tell me, where are you at with the type of work you're doing currently, either with yourself or the people in your life or the clients that find themselves to your door?
I think with respect to self-work, there has been Herculean levels of progress. I would like to say, I think there were moments of self-realization where I reached the place of, my third eye cracking open and realizing that
Wow.
I'm right. So in terms of self-growth, I think there have been a lot of progress. In terms of client work, right now I'm especially working with people who are getting over breakups or divorce even, and to
Oh,
help really grieve the loss and find their inner security and magnetize the right partner so that they're able to cultivate healthy relationships and they're able to build a family that is a sanctuary of emotional safety so that the future generation that they're going to build can be cultivated in safe environments. And therefore, who they will be raising are the future leaders, who they'll be raising are conscious individuals who will be impacting Earth. So that's what I specialize in right now.
that seems so incredible. And it seems so not temporary. That's so beautifully put. And if you had to explain this work simply to others, how would you explain it to them?
Simply put, I think our past trauma, some of it may even be coming from past life or even generational trauma for that matter, it makes us perceive ourselves a certain way. And all of this, as you mentioned in the beginning, is either at the level of thought, at the level of feelings, or somatic, even for that matter. So by processing those past memories, we release the heaviness, the way we have been seeing ourselves, the way we perceive the world, the way we perceive relationships, or what we allow ourselves to receive, the deservability aspect even. So all of these aspects change. We are able to release these things and we're able to look at ourselves from a different lens. Who's now abundant, who's now deserving of love, who's now deserving of a good life, who's now deserving of the dreams for that matter. So, simply put, that's how I would like to call this work. You're clearing out the old and you're inviting the new.
Oh, that's so beautifully put. And are you able to share any kind of cases that are, I don't want to spill the beans on anything confidential, but any kind of examples where you've worked with people and what they have, managed to get from the work that you've done with them?
Yeah, definitely. So there was this 29-year-old PhD student who had approached me because she had phobia of marriages, to the point that when she would attend marriages, she would feel a deep sense of anxiety. And after 3 sessions with me, where we covered her mother wound and father wound and adressophobia, she messaged me one day and told me that she attended another wedding. There was absolutely no sense of anxiety. She, in fact, felt happy for the person who was getting married. And she was now seeing people who, in fact, she was attracting friendships who had the qualities of the right match that she was expecting. So that made her feel more confident that she can eventually come in contact with the partner that she is seeking. So that was one success story. Another one was another individual who's a divorcee and also a PhD in AI and machine learning. And he wanted to attract his right partner, but having spent many number of years in this journey, he had developed a certain rage towards women and also troubled relationship with parents, and the whole dating journey felt very painful. So he's continuing sessions with me, but after all the inner child work, his perception about women has radically shifted. He would spend almost 6 months being triggered, and
Mm-mm.
now he says that within 20 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm like out of triggers related to women, and his relationship with his parents has shifted, and he is in a place of way more self acceptance and inner security as well.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah.
That's so powerful, Pushpanji. Wow, those two examples are really incredible. Now, tell me this, like if someone came to you and said they're feeling triggered and, they're feeling triggered in not a romantic relationship, but a relationship with a sibling, maybe a sister or a brother, and they trust you and they want to come to you, like how would you guide someone through that process in terms of what they might expect in sessions? Like, how would you guide someone in what they can expect in terms of exploring their trigger?
So I think when someone comes with this specific issue, we'll mostly be exploring the thought and emotional landscape, and regressing back to past memories, if at all the present trigger is coming from there, and really clearing out those heavy feelings which might be stuck in their body through trauma-informed, intervention, and releasing it so that they can find a state of balance and peace.
That seems really amazing. And from your viewpoint, what are the reasons you feel people get triggered when they're going through a breakup?
There could be several reasons. I think, in no order of priority, I think the first one would be they don't know how to deal with their emotions. The trigger is happening because they don't know how to label their emotions, maybe. They don't know the wisdom of their emotions. They don't know how to validate themselves. They don't know how to have acceptance for themselves through the journey of grieving the loss. So I think that triggers them because there can even be fight against oneself because you're not in acceptance of those of those difficult emotions that surface after a breakup. So that can trigger them. The second one would be coming in contact with their ex. Maybe that could trigger them as well. Maybe past memories or physical locations where they have spent time together, gifts and birthdays. Even these occasions can also trigger them. The third one would be, I think, the childhood trauma. So that really shapes the way we show up in our relationships. So that also would get triggered. Basically, one's attachment styles.
Yeah, that's so great. And I know we've chatted about this before, and I'd love you to share a bit more about it. And what's from your experiences going on even deeper than the trigger?
I think that can be answered in different layers. Right? from the spiritual lens, from the emotional lens, and even at the level of thought. I think at the deepest level, it would be self love, in my perspective, because of all the memories that we have, accumulated from our past, the way we see ourselves, the way we perceive ourselves, our worthiness of love. These things get shaped, and we tend to hold on to that old identity or a victim identity. And what gets, yeah, at the depth of all of this is really self love. How do we see ourselves in the relationship to love?
Oh, that seems so beautiful. And if you had to share some wisdom with all of us, what wisdom would you share with all of us?
This is probably a truth bomb more than wisdom. I think the journey to self love is not through the switch of a button. I think it's a lifelong journey. It is something that you really tread with consistency, kindness, compassion, and yeah, I think self love as well through the journey of finding self love.
Mm, that's beautiful. And would you say you're there?
I would like to think that I've made pretty big progress. And as I said, since it's a lifelong journey, I think I'm going to learn on the go. I don't think anybody can love themselves at all points in time and in all circumstances. So,
Nice. And so someone who were to come to you new in this whole arena of self-love and they said to you, what is self-love? How would you define it to them?
great question. I think self love to me is self respect, um, being able to being emotionally available to oneself and also in relationships, and being able to protect one's own time and energy by being able to draw boundaries and being able to choose the right people, either in your romantic life or even otherwise, making sure that you're surrounded by the right people. So, and also choosing what you're passionate about, if at all that is your calling. So, self love mostly is treading the path of your heart's calling, at the same time, being in security from within.
Ah, okay. So feeling secure, discerning what the heart's calling is, and following that. Have I got that right?
Yeah, yeah. And ensuring you have the
And if
right people.
someone says to you, how do I work on my heart's calling? What do you say to them? Of course, they need to come and see you. And what else do you tell them?
So, in terms of process, of course, I'll be taking them through the process that you taught as a part of ICM, where they figure out their life purpose if they don't already know what their life purpose is. Otherwise, it would be really delving into the ways that they have already sort of figured out their life purpose, what they're passionate about, what they have really liked to do already. And I think figuring out life purpose is not so much my area of expertise, so I don't have much to really add to this.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love how you shared that. And I love the discussion that we had on self-love. Wow, Pushpanjali, I'm so grateful that you have completed this journey. You completed it a year ago. It's a really massive milestone. It's a credit to you in terms of the growth that you put yourself through. And if anyone is watching this wherever you are in the world and you are faced with a breakup, um, with yourself, because my sense is that any external breakup can catalyze a breakup with self and can catalyze a breakup with the love within. The love without is the love that is sought, but it's not the love that is permanent. But the love within remains forever. And so if you are on this journey and you feel in any way broken or a breakup has happened, or even a break within yourself of love has happened, then I welcome you with all arms to be in touch with Pushpanjali. I know you're going to be in the safest of hands. Many, many, many congratulations, Pushpanjali. Many congratulations. Thank you so much.